Welcome back to the Creative Drip. What we're going to be going over today is just how I am editing our worship night promo videos for this March's worship night, which is happening March 27th. By the time this video goes up, it could possibly have already passed, but it's all on our social media, Dominion Project underscore. So go check it out. We actually had a different setup than we did the last worship night. The last worship night video I will have linked in the description because I also did a from vision to visual on that. Here we're gonna try to take bite-sized pieces of it. Right now we are currently gonna be editing one of our singers' videos. What we did this time that was different was we actually had the singers on the stage, kind of in a semicircle U-shaped, and then from there we added extras. So we asked our young adults if they can come in and if they can just worship with us as we film these videos. Now, during the entirety of the video portion, we had two cameras. So what I'm shooting on here was the Sony FX30 with a Sigma 24 to 70, and then I had a B cam who was Caesar, and he was filming on a Sony A7 III with a 28 to 70, kind of the stock lens, I believe it was. And so it was a lot of fun. Huge shift in how we did it last time. Last time it was more of the darker, moodier look. One light setup, maybe two as a backlight. This one, we brought out the works. We had two of the newer lights that I showed in previous videos. We had those as like backlighting, a little bit warmer. Then we had three main lights to light up the extras, the singers, and that was my Mollis X100, and then two more of the newer lights. I believe the newers were like 50%, 5500K. My Zhiyun Mollis X100 was probably about 5 to 10%. Wasn't anything super crazy, but even this right here is at 5% lighting me up. So it does a great job. Right now, I've pulled the video. I've added an adjustment layer. I haven't really recorded anything just yet on my Mac. So we're going to start that recording as I show you guys what I'm doing. And I'm just going to try and talk you guys through it. Like my thoughts, what's going on as I'm editing. I've already laid everything in, and I'll probably go back and record some of the stuff on how I did like that portion of editing, exporting. And look, this may not be the best way in some of the ways that I'm doing these, and that's okay. This is just what I found works for me. And if you guys have any comments whatsoever on like, hey, you can do this to make it easier or faster or whatever that may look like, throw it down in the comments. And then if this has helped you in any way, let me know in the comments as well. I do help churches with their content creation and content coaching. And so if you're trying to find out how to do something like this, what does it take? What does the setup look like? What does the planning look like? Let me know down in the comments. You can also connect with me on Instagram. It's nathaniel.t.aguirre. And yeah, let's jump into the edit. Okay, so I'm recording my screen. So right now, we had two different shots of Gibby. Let me mute my computer for right now, just so as I'm going back and forth, it doesn't make all those. So for Gabby, we had two different shots. We had this one right here that's kind of showed up. That's the landscape video portion of it. The other shot that we did was portrait. So I filmed everything portrait. Caesar went back and forth between portrait and landscape. Caesar did an amazing job. The colors came out great with the adjustment layer that I have on there for the color grading. The biggest difference was just the contrast in the colors. So Caesar shot a little bit darker and moodier. I shot a little bit brighter. But I mean, there's some simple fixes. Sometimes it's just within the actual color grading. So I haven't finalized a lot of the color grading moving forward for this video, but the other videos I have finalized it, fixed it, it's good to go. So you may not see color grading in this one, but I will work on something for a later video. Okay, so we had the landscape video, and it's great. I'm just gonna play it. I'll lower my audio just a bit. So this is Quien Mas. We're doing bilingual for our worship night. And this is raw audio. This is not synced. I was just sent the edited synced audio from our mixer. And so I'm going to throw that in here, sync it up, and throw it in. So let's just hope it works. Last time it wasn't connecting and I had to do it manually, which does get frustrating. But I'll show you guys how to do that too. So this is the first shot. Let me fix this because this is not supposed to be like that. Okay, and then we have our other shot, which was cam A. And you can see here it's like in the middle because it was shot portrait. So I did more of a tight shot. I did more of a very, very tight shot on the main singer with everybody in the background, while Caesar grabbed more of a wide shot of everybody. And so it definitely helps. It definitely pushes the video in a different way because you do have the extras, the young adults in the background singing. You have the singers who are worshiping there too. And this is key, guys. So if you're planning on doing something like this, the biggest thing is to make sure that your singers, the people you have there, that they are actually there to worship. Now, I know that sounds a little harsh. Let me say it this way. It's not just a practice. And that was one of the things I relayed to the whole team, to all the extras. It's not just a practice. This isn't like a, okay, we're here, we're showed up, okay, yay, Jesus, no. Treat this like the real deal. For the content creators out there, we are digital missionaries. Like, people will feel Jesus through these videos. And so as they're singing, as they're worshiping, it all enhances that experience. Yes, ultimately, we want you to come to worship night, but we also want you to experience something while you're listening to these videos. And so my encouragement to them was, everybody, like, worship together in this. Singers, come prepared and give it your all. I understand it's a Tuesday, it's a practice. This is it. Give it everything you got for the people on the other side. Because this isn't just for us. This is not for us here right now in this moment. No, this is for those who are watching on their phones, who are watching on YouTube, who are watching wherever they're watching it from. That's who you're doing it for. And so if you guys are planning to do something like this, you gotta get to that point in that level of, okay, this isn't just a practice. This isn't just something we're doing on an off day or on a Tuesday night practice night and it's just for social media. No, no, no. It can make an impact. So that is huge. You do not want to miss out on that. I'll throw in some B-roll. April had somebody else capture B-roll of like the main stage. We started with prayer. Always start with prayer. We started off with prayer and a united prayer. The extras, the singers, the leaders, everybody who was there on stage, we're going to pray together. We're going to set the atmosphere for what this worship night is going to be like. And we said it then. We didn't wait till Thursday before, the Friday, the day of, right before. No, no, no. We set the expectations there. And all of that plays a part. And you're probably thinking, Nate, what does this have to do with the editing? And I just want to get there. I understand, but it all plays a part, especially if you're the one directing everybody. Like, you have to get, as the creative director or the creative lead, that all of these pieces play a huge part in making this happen. And so if you're not ready to allow that type of flow to happen, it's time to work on that. It's time to work on getting there. So stay connected with me, stay connected with Creative Drip, because I'll lead you there. I will show you how to get there. It's not an easy process, but it's just something that we all need to understand as creatives. Like, the prayer needs to happen. The unity needs to happen. Because if you're there and there's not unity, there's going to be dysfunction, there's going to be some chaos, something will go wrong. Granted, there might have been a couple things that went wrong and they were laughable. It wasn't this, great, here we go again. All right, take 5, let's go. No, it was, okay, cool, we messed up. All right, hey, let's run it again. How are you feeling? Making sure you're checking on everybody. Check on the extras, check on the singers. Like, you're there to serve. You're there to serve. Yeah. Not just to film, but to serve and direct. So let them know, hey, I need more experience. No, I need more energy from you guys. And that did happen to us. We'll get there though. I'm sorry, I trailed off. Let's get back to the set. So we have Gabby, right? We have Gabby. I was just sent over. I'm working in Final Cut Pro, by the way. And we have Gian Moss version 2 mixed. And I want to say it's this version. There was a slight mix up. I think my, whatchamacalls it's renaming and organization kind of messed that up. So we're going to play around with this. So BCAM, Gian Moss, Gabby 4. So the fourth take of Gian Moss. So we're going to do Gian Moss version 2 mix. And then I'm going to hit command. And I'm going to go through all my footage and look for BCAM Gian Moss. ACAM. BCAM, Gabby 1, Gabby 4. So hold command, right click, and I'm going to synchronize clips. In theory, it should synchronize pretty well. We'll see what happens. In theory. And I'm just going to drag that right beneath the adjustment layer. So this adjustment layer has my color grading on it. I'll zoom in down here on the bottom. So I have adjustment for 24 and then adjustment for 60 frames. But if I hit V to take it off, you'll see that's S-Log 3 Gamut 3 Cine from the Sony A7 III. And that's our custom LUT. So I did a conversion LUT to Rec 709. And then I'm using this CG01 LUT. And I believe that was from Full Time Filmmaker. Yeah. So FTF official LUTs, Full Time Filmmaker. Very subtle, nothing crazy. I didn't do any hardcore color grading or anything like that. It's just a simple LUT to enhance some of the colors. So if I take that off, you'll see it kind of did gray out a little bit. And this just kind of darkened the darks, filled in the shadows, the highlights. It very minimal color grading. Very minimal LUT. So that's that. Let's see if the audio actually syncs up pretty well. If not, we're gonna have to do it manually. So let's zoom out here. Everything else is still in the works, like the Gian Moss titles. That's all still being worked on. So let's turn this up. All right. Okay. All right. So it did not sync correctly. So I have to listen to the video unless I didn't sync it correctly. And this is where it can get a little frustrating. It's just the organization, the takes, and that's why there are some things that you can do in order to help out with this. I have one, and we didn't use it. I don't know why I didn't use it. Don't come at me for not knowing what this actually is called, but one of those clackers. So if you use something like this, take production, roll, scene, shot, take, director, cameraman, date. So all the information in the front of the scene. So you're holding it up like, oh, yay, it's that. Cool. That would help out so much here in terms of organization. We didn't do that. I didn't think of doing that. It slipped my mind. And so now, because it slipped my mind and because I didn't think about that, the process is a lot longer now. And I sat here yesterday for a couple hours listening to her audio over and over and over again to figure out which was the correct one out of the 4 takes we did. Whoops. So, okay, let me pick this up. So let's see what's. Okay, we're just gonna take that out completely. I don't know. So, Gen Moss V2 mix. We're just gonna throw that down here. And I wonder if it's. Okay, I see what it was. I see. Okay, all right. So let me just tell you what was going through my head right now, because you guys are probably watching this like, all right, Nate, what are you doing? We're just listening to the. So I've listened to this a couple different times, more than a couple. So we have 4 takes of Gabby, right? And I selected her first one and her fourth. Her first and her fourth. Yeah, Gabby 4 and Gabby 1. Or did I? I am such a loser. No, I'm just kidding. I the way I organized hers for some reason just didn't. Okay. So as I'm listening to the both, man, it it's funny. It's to me at least because I'm just like I'm listening it to over and over again, and I hear it because of her ad libbing, and so she does dun 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 dun, and like she goes on an ad lib while the rest of the team is singing, and in the version I chose, she doesn't do as much ad libbing. As much as the ad libbing version was the better version audio wise, the cameras didn't capture a lot of what should have been captured or needed to be captured. Um, and that's just on us. The way we were filming, the way we were moving, it wasn't as smooth. And I think mainly for this one is just the end of it was just not as smooth. We did this whole rotating around her, but I gave up my shot because I didn't want Caesar to fall backwards. So I kind of was guiding him as he was rotating behind. We may still be able to use it, but that's just kind of what we're doing here is figuring out what shot is the best, what take is the best. And so it was, let me see if I can line these up real quick. All right, so she starts somewhere over here. That was pretty good. I literally just eyeballed it and eared it, just sliding. So if you're setting up manually trying to sync audio, you're going to be matching the waveforms on your main video and on your audio clip. And so, I mean, you can't really see it too well here. I'm sure there's a way easier way to actually see this waveform and link it up. But for right now, this is what I'm working with. So I kind of eyeballed it pretty well. But if you're doing it manually, that's what you're going to do. You're going to put your main clip with the audio on it, your actual audio, and you're just going to kind of move it around, play with it until it sounds seamless. The best way I do it is if I'm able to lower the main video's audio and it matches with the lips, then you did a pretty good job. So it's good right now, but coming up, it's gonna mess up, I believe. So she does that. Oh, see, okay. So I promise. Maybe it's the other one, but there was a version where she does. Oh, wait, hold on. Welcome to my brain when I'm editing. So, if I turn this audio up, we don't see her on this take, right? We don't see her, so we don't know what she's really singing, which works. We can actually use this with that audio, but she does another ad lib on this part, if I'm correct. Yeah, there it is. That. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'll see if I can turn my audio up a little bit more. Okay, but if I just find it funny that I've listened to it so much that I memorized that part. Um, right here. That. Let's see. Is that? Wait, that's in this part. Hold on. Am I wrong? It's the wrong audio again. Is it the wrong audio? No, it's not the wrong audio. I was wrong. I was wrong. And that's okay. I'm telling you, I've been listening to these audios back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the other version that was on here was this one. I don't want to use a synced one. April. Where's Gabby? Gabby 4, Gabby 1. So in this version here, she does a lot more ad-libbing. But I'll show you guys kind of. So that was pretty much the entire video that we shot, or that Caesar shot from his angle. So he got all the crowd, and I may try to fill in and add some, other shots of her singing from my perspective, just kind of like a bloom effect if possible. But in this version, she does a lot more ad-libbing. Ready? Yeah, so she'll go off again right now. And the focus on right now on this part. And granted, I do love these versions. Amazing versions, but I just think the shot we wanted wasn't there clearly. And this is where we turn and our pulling Caesar. Then we get an awkward shot. So that awkward shot, ending it just doesn't fit too well. At the end of the day, I'm gonna make both videos and send them out to our team who's approving the videos and say, hey, you guys choose which one you want, which one looks the best, blah 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 blah. But man, I can't believe I was wrong. I think I've just listened to it so many times, and it was one of the times she did her little run, and I was like, oh dang, like I was expecting that. I don't know. It gets like that. I've been back and forth on this audio and video so many times, I get confused. That's okay. Recoup. So, that's version 1, and then we had version 2, which was probably the one we're going to use. I'll probably cut it off realistically right where she's about to sing. Oops. And I'll just mute all that, mute that, cut that, mute that. So it'll start And I know some of you will probably be like, Nate, you're in the shot. What are you doing in the shot? That is okay. This isn't the live recording or anything like that. It's okay if I'm in the shot. We're all there for capturing the same footage. We're all there to, make this moment happen. And so, at least for me, I'm okay with camera people being in the shot. because it just adds to like what's going on. Like, this is a small production. So for me, chilling, cool with it. Seasoning some of my shots in the other video or other videos, and to me that's cool. Like it's not gonna, it won't hurt it. It's not the main focus. Gabby in this case is. So. So the other thing, as we're now on this little section here, if you have extras, encourage them to worship. And if they don't know the songs, this I'll be honest, this was like a last minute thing. We had 1 week to plan this out, execute it, make sure it got completed. 1 week. One week. And so having the young adults there that we know, hey, we know you can worship, we know you can jump up and down for certain videos, this and that. Like, we understand where you're at. We want you to be there. When there's there, it was great because the praise team went off and they were practicing in one of our other rooms. I was able to go up there and organize. Okay, let's get you guys set up, standing positions. Let's practice some of the songs. Hey, this is some slow songs. These are the fast songs. Let's worship. What does your worship look like? Hey, let's clap on beat. Let's, when in doubt, lift your hands and worship and just praise God. That is what you got to do. Just pray. Lift your hands and pray. When in doubt, don't fake it. Actually do it. Because it just adds to what God is doing on the other side of the screen. And so you want to make sure that those who have on the stage with you, that they are willing to worship even on camera. Some people they get embarrassed. They don't like to show up on cameras or photos or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you let them know ahead of time you will be on camera, and then at the actual filming or production day, encourage them, hey, this is what it looks like to worship. And then let the praise team know, like, praise team, you're leading them in worship. The extras will match your intensity. Because that's what worship teams do. They worship, they lead people in praise and worship. So what the worship team does, the audience will follow. Because it's like call and response. You do this, we're gonna do it. Like that's what you got to get down to is praise team, worship team. You guys are it. You're leading them in worship. You're leading the people on the other side of the screen into worship. And so if you're not intense, if your energy ain't there, theirs ain't gonna be there. So you have to find that rhythm. Okay, guys, we're all coming together again in unity. We want worship. We want praise. We want to make sure you guys are lifting your hands. We want to make sure you're, if you know the words, sing along with them. We again the last minute of it all. We had 1 week, so getting the lyrics up there. We tried our best. We tried to make sure everyone knew the songs, and so it came out great. But that's just something else to keep in mind as we kind of went over this little section right here that Caesar's filming. I wanted to make sure that was clear for everybody. Like, hey, you want to encourage your people or your extras, young adults, whoever's there, worship together. Continue to worship. Let's keep going. that's the end. We only did short sections of each song, so maybe about a minute and a half to 2 minutes long. About a minute and a half. 1 minute, 26 seconds. And so for me, I've been having all the videos kind of fade out. And so I'll have it fade out on that last note that she's hitting. There is this hit at the end. There's that hit at the end, but I don't know if I like that hit at the end. I kind of want to end it there. I mean, for her, we could do something different. And with all the other videos, let me pull up another video real quick. I'll show you guys what I've been doing. So what I've been doing in the previous video, so let's take April's. That's We Won't Revival. We're not showing We Won't Revival yet. Let's do Drew's. I like Drew's. So Drew's.
Come on, put your hands together, everybody. It's time to celebrate our God. It's time to lift him up. Hallelujah. Because we're dancing on the plane that we...
Okay. So for Drew's and April's other video we had, and Gabby's will be similar tomorrow. Or sorry, Wednesday. Whenever this goes up, I'm working on getting this up by Saturday, so you guys can all see it. If not, sometime during the week. So Drew's title, 5 seconds, fades out, and now it's just camera roll. Now it's just there. Constantly what's happening. On this part, he goes, you say. So that's where we shifted the lens to singers. There's a little bit of a lag there for me because I was like, okay, let me switch real fast. But you know, trying to include everybody in the video as much as I can. That's why we had at least two cameras. If we had more, we definitely have some more cameras there. At least one for each side. So there's back and forth between the singers and the extras on each side. So there. So intensity, you can see people in the back there. They're jumping, they're dancing too, just like the worship team. Again, bring that intensity, bring that energy. You are here to worship, you're here to praise. So keep it going. So what I started doing, so I have the Dominion Project, Occupy Worship Night, and then the date time location of the actual event. For Gabby's, we may switch it up a bit, but it starts off as they're ending and fading out, and then it'll stick to a black screen. For April's video that we posted yesterday, or today, right? Today's Tuesday, today. I did a little bit different because sometimes people may think it's a cover if it's just the title of the song. And so I added the title and that it was worship night. So people understand, oh, it's a worship night. And at the end, the information is there. So Jesus be the name. Jesus be the name. Jesus be the name that gets all the glory. Sing Jesus. Jesus be the name. Jesus be the name that gets all the glory. Only Jesus. a lot of tight shots, a lot of close-ups. That's kind of what my focus was for all these videos. Caesar did more of the wider shot, landscape, a little wider portrait. I was focused more on let's get tight, let's get zoomed in. I want you guys to feel like you're right there with them, you're right in front of them, and so that's why a lot of these are a lot tighter shots. And same thing. Occupy goes over her. Fades to black. And it stays on the black screen. So for Gabby's, though, we're going to go back to our other project because this is more of a landscape video. So we're going to do landscape. Here we have two options. First, we got to fix all of this because it's landscape. Everything that I have there isn't formatted for a landscape video. So I got to fix that. And I like to put the horizon on, so show horizon. Kind of. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. Sorry guys, technical difficulties real fast. There we go. I'm just holding down my arrow key. It's gonna take a little second. Right. Yeah, we won't do that for the others. Okay, then we have. Change the worship night size, bring that down. Worship night. Occupy. We're gonna bring occupy up. Over her, and we're going to bring that just a little. Actually, I even just make that bigger. That worship night. Make it a little bit bigger. And then definitely the date and time and everything we can make smaller. And then let's get Occupy and Worship Night. And let's bring them down just a little bit. I want them somewhat centered. I want Worship Night to be centered. Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like at the end. So that's kind of the look at the end. Occupy Worship Night. So then I'll take Worship Night, copy it, paste it over here in the beginning. And then we want simple fade in, fade out, same as here. So we want it for 5 seconds, or about 5 seconds. Boom. And that crosses off on both sides. And so now it should line up with this. Maybe it should. Gotta fix the Kian Moss. Let's bring that down. Let's blow it up. Bring it down some more. So looking at the horizon, it's on the screen. I want to say it's pretty centered. Maybe Kian Moss can go over just a little bit. I think it'll be okay. I want to make sure that adjustment layer is there. Don't know why that's. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why it was not. So sorry. I've got to remember I'm recording. So command Z that again. So what happened here was because I added the crosses all at the end of her main video. It added the crosses all at the beginning. So I got to take that out. Which is this right here. Take that out. So now it should be all aligned. I was looking at that adjustment layer. It wasn't fully color grading it. So, oops.
Cordero ungido reinará. ¿Quién fue, quién es y quién vendrá? Sentado en el trono está. Santo, santo. Siendo justo se entregó. Con grande amor nos demostró. Exaltado en majestad. Santo, santo. Cordero ungido reinará. ¿Quién es y quién vendrá? Sentado en el trono está.
Also, when you have the extras and again, encouraging them to worship, you can get good shots like this. So like Caesar did of them worshiping on the right hand side. And then the other great thing about having other cameras is that you can have them also focus on the other singers. So like one main cam, two extras, or even two main cams, cam A, cam B, and then C and cam D. And hey, the outer cams focus on the outers, the inner cams focus on everyone on the inside. And so having multiple angles, different shots of the worship team, the worship team, the extras, but kind of splitting it so you're not having to go back and forth, it would help. But here, Caesar got some great shots of them worshiping on the back end, and then you still hear Gabby pretty well in the background. So I think that's also pretty good. You know, she's not the main focus of this video. We're just kind of showing everybody worshiping, and that also works. You don't have to just stay on the main person all the time. Yes, it's good. It's good to show them. But you also want to add elements to your video to show the impact, to show the worship, the praise, to show people what this night is gonna look like. What up? We got some guys here. We're going to be moving our chairs and everything for worship night. So let me finish this up real quick. We're going to take a pause, but we'll be back after we set everything up. I may even set the camera up to capture us doing that. So let's finish this up real quick, and then we'll take a quick break. So this was the ending I was thinking of. So we can do that. Like, okay, it fades in. Or my other thought would be, let's copy all those. Let's paste it. This is just another thought. It might, I don't know how it'll work. Again, trial and error. When you're editing, it's just trial and error. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find that last hit. So right here, and we're gonna lift all of these up. Come on. Okay, I thought we were gonna lift them up. Come on. So I want them all to be lined up right here-ish. We'll take this off, take this off, take this off, take that off. Put this here. I just want to line them all up. And then we'll shrink them down. Shrink them down. Shrink them down. Shrink them down. Okay. In theory, if I did this correctly, in theory, I can turn this off, this off, this off, this off. But let's just see what happens. Play that last part again. and then it'll just end like that. So that's another way to end the video. I'll probably export both and see what the leaders like the best. But for now, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna go fix up those chairs real fast, and then we'll be back here editing this video and then Natasha's video as well. So that may be a separate that I do, and so you guys are getting multiple, but that's it for this one right now. Once we come back, we'll finalize it, and we'll may do the other clip too, just so we have two different versions, and we may have two different versions with two different edits, so 4 versions total. Yeah, it's a lot, but we'll be back. So I'm gonna take a moment really fast and just throw this out there for all the lead pastors, for all the creative directors or creative leads. If your team is struggling, maybe you're not seeing the numbers you want to see, maybe you're not seeing the amount of posts you want, maybe you're struggling with consistency. It's not an issue with the team per se, it's an issue with the structure and frameworks that you have in place. The Creative Drip is here to provide that structure and that framework. So there's a link in the description. Click the link so we can jump on a consultation call to see where your team is at, to see what it is that they need assistance with, what it is that you as the leader need assistance with, and how we at the Creative Drip can assist you and build your team to get you those numbers, to get the word of God out there through your social media so that everybody can know who God is, so that everybody can hear about Jesus. So if that's something where you've been struggling, your church has been struggling, your team's been struggling, you just need some help, some guidance, you don't know where to go, what to do, click the link in the description, fill out the form that's there, and I will get in contact with you as soon as possible. Let's build our teams together. We just went and set up the sanctuary right now for worship night that's happening on Friday. So I had to switch my lighting setup too. So we have a ring light now. That's kind of, you can kind of see it here. Hopefully it still stayed a little similar. If not, oh well, that's just kind of what happens. So back to it. We are on Gabby's video. So we're going to do fit. All right. So I think let's just, usually when I sit back down to do some edits, I'll like to watch it again, kind of go over it one more time. I think this will be the first export, and instead of it fading into everything, I believe on that last hit is when it'll all kind of pop up and show. So I'm just going to watch it one last time and see how it looks. Now, during the actual replay, it will lower the quality because I have performance over quality on my Final Cut Pro, just so performance-wise everything runs smoother. So please don't judge this footage as it's playing. It's not high quality. Okay, good pan, good pan. Okay. So it looks good. At least I think it'll work as the first edit. I know before we left, I was like, oh, we're gonna have 4 different edits, and I kind of like how it fades and boom, and it drops all the information on that. Once I export it, I'll throw it into my burner account on Instagram so I can post it there, see what, the graphics, um, excuse me, what needs to be shrunk a little bit, moved around. So what we're going to do is for this one, this will be test version number 1. So we're going to do I for in. So we want to, when we're exporting this, so I for in, and then drag it all the way over here at the end. It's going to be, all right, so which is fine. Out. And then we'll scroll backwards to make sure that right here is the in. Okay. We'll export that. And so my export settings, so we have the info, description, video about March Worship Night. Whoops, sorry. Settings, the format I use computer format. And then from there, video codec H.264. And I do the multi-pass, which is better. I'll do faster when it's like, hey, I need some faster stuff. But multi-pass for me, always doing that. Resolution, highest resolution. I know there are some people who are like, oh, export it at 1080. Which, I mean, I can still export 1080. I can export highest resolution. Just the compression of it all. Everything's been looking pretty good on the Instagram. I haven't had any problems with exporting this high. But I'll do a comparison too for you guys that, I'll screen record on my phone too of this one and a 1080 version just for comparison sake. But that'll be a little bit later. So this is it. Standard Rec 709, QuickTime Player. Then I'll hit next. I am one of those people who's like, Gabby, Final 1, Final 2, or Test 1, Test 2, Test 3. And I'll keep all the tests just in case I got to go back and look at, okay, what was different? What does version 1 look like compared to version 5? Was there anything from 1 that I want to take and add to 5? Just, I'm the guy I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. At the end of it, though, I only keep the final result. Everything else is trashed. So for here, I'll do Gabby _ March promo _ test 1. And that'll save directly to my Final Cut, directly to my G drive that I use. So I edit off of a SSD G drive. It saves directly there so I can grab it, drop it onto messages for people to see, and all that good stuff. So as that's exporting, just some other things. So the way we set this up is we had 5 lights total. We had 2 in the back that were kind of the back lights or headlights at, I want to say 50%, if not a little bit more than 50%. Those were plugged in directly. So I can have those lasting as long as I wanted. But I want to say we shot them at 4,000 Kelvin. Let me pull up the photos. I made sure during the practice beforehand, I took photos of everything and all the settings. So yeah, so we had it at, we had the backlights that if you're looking at the screen I'm looking at here, it should be somewhere. But this backlight in the corner, that is 3,200 Kelvin at 40%. Wasn't too bad. It did some pretty good lighting. We did want it have a warmer look. We put orange on there beforehand, and it came out really orange. And it was cool, but I think it was just a little too much for what we wanted to go for. And then the front lights that's lighting everybody, it was 50% power at 5,500 Kelvin. And then for my main lights, I think I was too short to actually get a shot of it, but I believe it was 5% power, 5,500 Kelvin. So I like to stick to 5,500 Kelvin. It gives that daylight. This light here is 5,500 Kelvin. So my white balance is going to be 5,500 across the board. So that's kind of the setup for what we did there. So we had two in the back and then two in the front, kind of where our speakers were facing downward. And then my big bubble lights, my Molus X100, was straight on and a little bit over the head, so my shadow wouldn't cast too much on them. And that's the other thing you gotta keep in mind, is that where your lighting is placed matters, because if it's too low, you're gonna be getting in the way of that light. And so my shadow will be casting on the singer, and then it just wouldn't look good. So you want to make sure they're higher, maybe angled down more, which is why I like those Neewer lights. I can angle it so be more of like a, so like if this is the stand, I can have it straight up or like angled all the way down, just depending on what I want. But that's the setup we kind of did. As we get closer to worship night, it's going to change. We're going to bring the musicians or the singers down, the pianist down on the floor. Bass, guitar, and drums are going to stay on the platform but moved up. Yeah, very exciting. Gabby's video did export, so let's watch that fully now before we send it off to the group to check out and then start on her other edit.
Ungido reinará, quien fue, quien es y quien vendrá, sentado en el trono está. Santo, santo, siendo justo se entregó, con grande amor nos demostró, exaltado en majestad. Santo, santo.
So as I'm doing this, I'm also looking at it's something that one of my leaders kind of called out in another video, was the people behind, making sure that everybody who's in the background, they're worshiping, they look good, because sometimes you miss one or two people who may be worshiping, or they'll have their eyes open kind of looking around like what's everyone else doing. Some of them will kind of, they won't have that, they'll be like, okay, we're done, like cool. Or you just want to make sure you're attentive to those small details, because other people can catch it and it could possibly ruin, not, I don't want to say ruin the video, but it can add something there that's like, oh, that person's not doing it, that, well, this is all, it can complicate things. And so we just want to make sure that as we're capturing the video and when we're going back through it, we can catch all of that, because that may be like, okay, let's not add that part, or maybe we throw a B-roll clip on top of that to hide that area, because it just doesn't look good. And we want to do everything with excellence here. And so doing everything with excellence means we're paying attention to the details, we're learning the songs, we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're prepared to edit, to create, to export, and to just put everything out there in terms of content. Okay, back to the video.
Sentado en el trono está, santo, santo, por grande amor nos demostró. Santo, santo, cordero puro reinará, quien fue, quien es y quien vendrá, sentado en el trono está. Santo, santo, siendo justo se entregó.
Okay. Version 1, I would say, is done for now. I'm going to take that, and because the Apple ecosystem is great, I'm literally just going to drag and drop that into messages. Maybe. There we go. Gabby test. Gabby version 1. Send that off to the leadership who's approving and saying, oh yeah, it looks good, or it doesn't look good. Cool. So what we're going to do now, oh, didn't mean to do that. That's all stuff. Okay. We're going to go back. I was working on the wrong timeline. I mean, no, it was good. It's how I had everything set up, but I've realized now that where I was working on my timeline, so I was working here in this space that I'm highlighting when I should have been working over here on this space. It's okay. It still worked out because now looking at
Poder ungido reinará. ¿Quién fue, quién es y
okay.
quién vendrá? Sentado en el trono.
So this version is tough because this was the first audio that was sent. So this is the where she does more ad-libbing, which is a great video. Let's watch the full thing through first because I tried to include the portrait video that I shot of this one. I believe it's a different one. But with the portrait you have to zoom in, and so the crop just doesn't work as well. So there was this idea of 50% as it's kind of going over. So let's just watch.
Reinará. ¿Quién fue, quién es y quién vendrá? Sentado en el trono está. Santo, santo, siendo justo se entregó. Cuán grande amor nos demostró. Exaltado en majestad. Santo, santo, permitido reinar. Sentado en el trono está. Santo, santo, cielo justo siempre. Exaltado en majestad. Santo, santo, permitido reinar.
Okay. So the only thing about this one is this final shot here. This final shot is what's been really just like, so I can fade it like that, but it's still a weird shot. It's so close to her head, it's not in focus on the hand. If we fade it out, it works if we fade it out. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab, where's she at? Where is she at? She's over here. Okay. I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it over here. We'll adjust it right now. Same thing with these. Copy that. And I'm going to throw them back over here on Gabby's other video here. Boom. Okay, so let's fix this beginning. So the beginning, and this is why it's so good to make sure you have the little clacky thing, but that you slow down. And that's just for everybody. Like, I understand, it gets late sometimes. I understand it's a sacrifice. I get it. And people want to go home. People are tired. It's a long day, but it's a sacrifice. And with stuff like this, you want to slow down a bit so that everybody's on board with the timing, with the hitting record at the same time, all of that. In this video, and like this specific one, another thing that kind of like, oh man, is because we weren't ready to film. They had started the music, they started singing, and we were just a few seconds off from hitting record. So that's why I had to fade it in like this, because we don't have the entire, like the full clip. At least I don't think I do. Let me see if I take that off. Okay, so we have, yeah. So that red marker that you guys are seeing, I'm trying to pull it further. Like that's it. So we have just right as she begins to sing. Not even. So it's very important to make sure that everybody slows down. We make sure, hey, that was a good one, that was a bad one, let's redo it. Yes, I understand it's time consuming. People are going to be tired, but we want to do it with excellence. And so for those of you who are like, hey, we want to do the same thing, we're trying to do this, cool. Just make sure you slow down a bit. You can get caught up in the moment very, very easily and miss these little details. So I'm here to tell you and catch these details for you so that you know for your videos. All right. So now that we're back here, we have the beginning. Again, as I was saying, it got cut off. So we could do a quick fade, which might work, like super, super fast fade. And then we want to do the same thing with the title. 5 seconds at most. Somebody did reply back in the time that I've been doing all of this. They don't really know how they feel about the Worship Night logo in the beginning, so we'll give them this version with just the title of the song, just to see how it looks. And so we'll do Quien Mas. 5 seconds, fades out. And so this one's gonna go. Personally, I love this video better just because of all the ad-libbing that she does do. That's my personal preference. I would love for this one to be the main video. I'm going to send them both. And so they will get to choose which version they would want. And then from there, I'll do some other slight edits. Hopefully I can record those edits. It's stuff in my head that I kind of want to play with, depending on like the B-roll that's happening and maybe having Gabby in the corner kind of like faded into it as she's singing, like the close-up of her singing faded in. But don't know for sure yet. Again, these are all just thoughts to play with. Me, I don't have, usually I'll have like a piece of paper out. I had a notebook here. Here it is. So like notepads, doing quick edits like this, I don't really have the notepad out, but I would highly recommend that you, if whoever's editing, have a notepad. So then you're editing and you're like, okay, you know, marking down Gabby at, you know, 16:53:01, add B-roll, or just to jot your ideas down, even if like you're partnering with the Holy Spirit here too. And so God could give you a whole different direction. You know, God could just say, do this, change this, add this angle. Cool, write it down. Write down those thoughts, because if you aren't partnering with God in this, then it's gonna be tough for you. So you want to make sure that you're partnered with God while editing. So have some paper next to you. I mean, I can open up my notes on my laptop and but whatever that looks like, it's always good to have some type of paper, sticky notes. I got sticky notes, I got paper. I got my notes app open on my laptop. So there's a lot of things I can use to write. I would, you know, encourage you to have something as well. So back to the edit. So just that ad-libbing. Here, this part, it's the back and forth of the focus that kind of, it pulls at my heartstrings, because it's cool seeing behind her in focus and then her in focus. So it's a love-hate relationship with this part. This part. Ooh. And we just got to fix that right there. So it's going to be here. And, I mean, we just drag it back. Drag it back. Drag it back. Drag it back. Cool. I don't think we need the whole song to finish. So. All right. Next. Oh, cancel. So you got to be careful. You got to watch this number too. So the number in the bottom will tell you if you're exporting the correct video. This is 7.45 gigs, which is the entire timeline. I don't want the entire timeline. So I'm going to O for out on that. And then I'm going to bring my little bar here. We'll do in. Okay. And then we'll export that. Next. I have so much stuff on this drive right now, but we're going to look for Gabby March test 1, and we're going to put test 2. Boom. All right, so as we're exporting, I just wanted to give you guys an offer that I have, and that is for content coaching. So you could be an entrepreneur, you could be a lead pastor, you could be a creative director. And maybe you're not seeing the foot traffic you want. Maybe you're not seeing the numbers you want on social media. And while a lot of us could say, well, the team's just not doing enough work, it could just be that you have a systems problem or a framework problem. And so the Creative Drip is here to help you with all of that. So I want you to click the link down below. It's a link to get a consultation with me where we discuss where your team's at and what the plans are for the future. Where do you guys want to go? What do the numbers look like? Could be helping you with structure, with framework, could be with content calendars. What does that look like? What does it look to post 3, 4, 5 days a week? So I want to get connected with all of you, whether you're an entrepreneur, a lead pastor, creative director, a business owner. So please click the link below, fill out the form, and I'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible. All right, so exported the video.
All right, so
now
exported the video. Now we're going to
final
watch the
test
final
version
test
to send to
version
people.
to send to people.
Rugido reinará, quien fue, quien es y quien vendrá, sentado
That beginning just
It
kind
doesn't
of
sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with me. Usually when that happens, I like to
Usually
go
when
back
that
and just
happens,
see,
I like
okay,
to go back and
can
just see,
we
okay,
just
can we just
straight no,
straight
no.
no and no.
Play with me now. Play with me.
Play with me now. Play with
I
me.
think that will work.
I think that will work.
I think that'll work.
I think that'll work.
We'll do out here. We'll do out here. All right, I'm gonna try this. Just
All right, I'm gonna try this. Just
that. So stuff like that. If
that.
it doesn't
So
feel
stuff like that.
right
If it
to
doesn't
me,
feel right
I don't get
to
that
me,
sense.
if
Like okay, that's
I don't get
smooth,
that
or
sense.
that's
Like
clean.
okay, that's smooth or that's
And it
clean.
could just be an editing thing.
And it could just be
I'm
an
sure
editing
a lot of
thing.
people may not
I'm sure a lot of
recognize
people
it or
may not
see it, or they'll see it and be
recognize
like,
it or
okay,
see
what?
it, or they'll see it and be like, okay,
For
what?
those of us who edit and the
For those of us
creatives
who
and all that
edit
stuff,
and the
we pick
creatives
up
and all
on
that
the
stuff,
little
we
things.
pick up on
So
those little
it didn't
things.
sit
And so
right
it
with
didn't
me.
sit
I
right
have to
with
go see
me.
if there's a way to change
I
it.
have to go see if there's a way to change it.
And I'll just replace
And I'll just
what I have
replace
on here already.
what I have on here already, and that's Gabby test 2.
save and replace.
Save and replace.
So that's gonna export.
So that's gonna export.
Click out of that, and we'll just
Click
wait.
out of that, and we'll just wait now. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay, maybe
Let's
not.
try it again. One more time.
Let's try it again. One more time.
Uno Moss.
Uno Moss.
Okay. That one is exporting now.
That one is exporting now.
Yeah. So this is
yeah.
So this
It's
is
a blessing to be a creative.
it's a blessing to be a
Like, for those
creative.
of you who are watching
Like,
this,
for those of you who are watching
you know,
this, and
either you are
you know,
creative, you're
either
wanting to
you
be
are
creative,
creative,
you're
you're wanting to be a
director, lead
creative,
pastor.
you're director, lead pastor.
Being a creative, has
being
been
a
just such
creative
blessing in my
has
life.
been just such a blessing
Like,
in my life. Like
I look back at what I
I
was
look back
doing,
at
where
what I
at,
was
and to
doing, where I
say,
was at,
I get
and
to
to
be
say
here and do
I get
this
to
for
be
a
here
living.
and do this for a living.
It's only God. Like,
It's only
it was
God.
only
Like,
by God that I was able.
only
to do
by
all this.
God that I was able
be
to do
here
all
to
this. To be
you know,
here to
content
you know,
create, creative director,
content
for the church.
create, creative director for the
do
church.
content coaching for other churches,
do content coaching
being
for
able to
other
help
churches,
my uncle with his
being able to
business
help
and
my
everything
uncle
like
with
that.
his
It's
business
been
and
such a
everything like
blessing.
that. It's
to be able
been
to
such a
create these
blessing.
videos,
To be able to
you
create
gotta
these
get,
videos,
as a
like,
creative,
you gotta
if you are
get
not
as a
having fun
creative.
with all
If
this,
you are not
yes, there's
having fun
frustrating
with all this,
times.
yes, there's
Yes, there's
frustrating
times where you
times.
just
Yes,
yesterday
there's
I
times
wanted
where you
to just
yesterday I wanted to
throw
just
my iPad,
throw
and
my
slam
iPad
my MacBook because
and
the
slam
audio
my
messing
MacBook
up and
because
just
the
the
audio
frustration
messing
of it.
up and just the frustration of it all.
But even in that,
But even in that,
I still find joy because
I still find joy
I get
because
to
it's
do this.
I get
That
to
I
do
have
this.
to.
That I
but
have
get
to, but
and
I get
know
to.
At the end of the
and
day,
I know at the end
all
of the
this is gonna
day,
make a difference.
all of this
even
is going
if
to
it's
make a
just
difference.
one person's
Even
life.
if it's just one
Even
person's
if just
life.
one person,
Even if just
sees this
one
video and is
person
touched by
sees
it,
this video
I
and is
know
touched by it,
that's happening.
I know that's
I am
happening.
making a difference.
I
And
am
just
making a difference.
Absolutely love it.
And I just absolutely
So,
love it. So
Get to that level of
get
creativity.
to that level of creativity.
Even if just one
Like,
person sees it, you
Even
know
if
you've
just
made a
one
difference
person
and
sees
you've
it, you
touched
know you've
somebody's
made a
life.
difference and you've touched somebody's life.
Get there.
Get there.
It may not be hundreds of thousands.
It may
or
not
50,
be hundreds of thousands or
500
50,
people, like,
500 people. Like
to that point. Even
get
if one
to that
person's
point.
life is
even
changed,
if one person's life is changed,
that
that
beyond joyful for that.
Pero ungido reinará, quien fue, quien es y quien vendrá, sentado en el trono está, santo, santo, siendo justo se entregó, con
Excuse me.
grande amor nos demostró, exaltado en majestad, santo, santo, pero ungido reinará, quien es y quien vendrá, sentado en el trono está, santo, santo, siendo justo se entregó, exaltado en majestad, santo, santo, pero ungido reinará, sentado en el trono siendo justo siempre, exaltado en
Again, that ending is still a little iffy to me, but we'll let the others see if they catch it, see if they notice it, and if they need it changed. I'm gonna put this is a version 2, but a different take. Different video and audio here. Which take is better? All right. So we've sent that off to go and get approved, or kind of just, hey, this take versus this take. That's all I got for you guys for right now on creating Gabby's worship night promo video. That's a mouthful. But more videos will be dropping. I will record when we start editing Natasha's and a little bit of April's. That'll be thrown out there again. Shows she did 2 songs. So we have Jesus Be the Name and We Want Revival. So as I edit We Want Revival, I already did some of it. I didn't record that, but I'll go back and explain all that, what I did, how I did it. Once I start editing Natasha's, most likely tomorrow. So stay tuned for all that. Thank you again for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, Dominion Project Worship Night. We can't wait. March 27th, 2026. And again, if you are looking for next steps, for help, assistance, how to have structure and framework for your creative teams, click the link in the bio so that we can get connected and set up a consultation. But until next time, thank you for watching The Creative Drip.